Welcome to the Featured Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Jack. Unfortunately, Rick couldn't join us today, but he should be back next week. Now, today we are going to be talking about the anime Lycoris Recoil, which was a recommendation from CJ. Thank you for the recommendation, CJ. Very much appreciated. If you haven't heard any of CJ's podcast episodes or anything like that, go ahead and check them out. I'll have a link for him in the show notes for Anime Anonymous. Worth the listen to. And of course, don't forget to check out the show notes for all the different ways you can help support us. And now on to the meat and potatoes. Lycoris Recoil came out in July 2022. It ran through September 2022. Producers for were Aniplex, ABC Animations, BS11, just to name a couple. The studio for it is A1 Pictures. The genres for it are action and slice of life. It is an original anime, so there is no source material for this, and it is 13 episodes long. Now, Lycoris Recoil takes place in a form of Tokyo, or a version of Tokyo that's in the future, and it follows elite teen agents that are called Lycoris, or Lycoris, which are raised by the secret government agency, pseudo-government agency, backed government agency called Direct Attack, or DA as everyone calls it, whose job is basically to quietly prevent crime and terrorism. This show follows Takina, who is one of the main characters of the show, and she is basically being given disciplinary action, is forced to partner with the cheerful prodigy Chisato at the front cafe called LycoReco. This show is basically a blend of stylish gunfights with a cozy-ass cafe jobs with a dash of family vibes, while the pair, Chisato and Takina, also try to foil the anarchist Majima and uncover secrets for those closest to them. Now, honestly, this show, in my personal opinion, was actually really enjoyable, really good. One of the biggest faults that I have for a lot of the original anime that are out there is the fact that most of the time it feels rushed or haphazardly put together, or that it flounders a lot in a lot of different ways. However, a lot of the originals that I have been watching lately, or that have been recommended to us, honestly have been better. It's been unique or enjoyable, I want to say, for a majority of them, which is nice, and honestly, it's refreshing. That is not to say, I mean, this is not without its own problems and issues, to say the least, but it was enjoyable. Just throwing that out there right at the very beginning. No, one of the unique things about this show is the direction that it really kind of takes. It takes place in the form of a different future, or in a future where, at least for Japan, it's had years of, I'm going to use air quotes for this, peace, when in actuality you have these girls walking around in school uniforms, or uniforms that are designed to look like their school uniforms, and they are quite literally keeping the peace of the world. Now, it's not that there is absolutely no crime, or that there is no crime. In fact, it is far from it. In fact, what you'll see these girls do at the very beginning, or what they show them, is they straight up just murder someone for anything and everything. They are, in a matter of speaking, the judge, jury, and executioners of it. At least the agency in and of itself. So they are told where they need to go. They go there, they do it, they kill, and then that's it. You're also kind of told too that, and you don't see any of them older than that, or older than high school age or kid age, going around and they're doing this. So you don't see anyone that's actually older than that. And it's lightly touched on that basically, yeah, when you turn 18, that's it. You're no longer this individual. You are effectively forced to retire at 18. They don't go into any other details for like what happens to them after that. Do they die? Do they get killed, executed? Like whatever happens, move on to different parts of the job. Are they given a different viewpoint altogether? Like none of that's really explained, which is kind of a pressing point for me. Is while the show was good, it was entertaining, it was enjoyable for what it was, it left a lot to be desired in terms of questions and answers that you are never given. But that's not what this whole show is about. It is not just about them going out there preventing all these crimes in a very unique way or anything like that. And I don't want to focus on their like who this group or individuals are. I really want to focus on what the core plot of the story is, which is you have Chisato and Takina, basically two very honestly contrasting personalities. One is willing to almost do anything within the realm of possibility to get the job done, and she does not have any issues killing people or taking the life of an individual. That'd be Takina, who is what these girls are trained to do. These girls are trained to go and kill. And for Takina, her mission priority, her whole mentality and everything having to do with it is she prioritizes the mission success above all else. But that also ends up getting her in trouble because she basically takes matters into her own hands at the beginning, which forces her into this disciplinary action where she gets put with Chisato. Chisato is a very energetic and bubbly and light-hearted individual, and she has this very unique talent where basically because of and they do kind of explain it, they do kind of broach and try and talk about it a little bit, where she's able to read the muscle, the reactions or anything like that for her to be able to actually dodge bullets in a matter of speaking. And they even say it's like, you could be within 3 feet of her, 4 feet of her. And even then at that distance, she's able to basically dodge where you're going to shoot. There's nothing to get around it. The flaw, or not the flaw, but the biggest thing for her, and which is a flaw for the DA, is that she uses rubber bullets. She uses custom rubber bullets, and it's because she was given a second lease on life, and she feels that because she was given this second lease on life, that she should be going out there and making these changes and trying to, I don't know, basically force change through force, but not through killing. Anyways, her whole mentality is like she wants to be there for the people. She wants to help the people. She wants to do what she can for these people. And so that's exactly what she does in general. She goes through these daily moments or daily life where she just wants to help people. She wants to be there and do what she can to help the people that honestly have no one to help them, and not help them as in, oh, I'm going to be killed or this or that. No, it's like, hey, I just need help doing X. I need to do community service and do all this other stuff. And honestly, that's exactly what she does. And Takina is the exact opposite of that, but she starts warming up to the idea and the mentality and the viewpoints of Chisato. And you can see this evolution. You can see this growth for Takina throughout the series. And while there are other characters, like you have Teacher and you have other individuals that are throughout the whole series that are kind of pivotal, they're a focal point of it. Really, the interaction between these two and the personalities and chemistry between them is really kind of pivotal, and it is a very strong focal point for it because you have that conflicting personality, but then you start understanding why each one is the way they are, and they will talk about it. They'll broach the subject. They'll kind of go into it in depth, and then you really start learning about Chisato's past, her life, and everything that kind of makes her tick. And what makes it really unique is you start learning about this other company or this other institute called the Allen Institute. And these individuals go out there, and if you have a crazy talent, really crazy or unique talent or whatever, it's basically, hey, you're going to be taken care of or whatever it is. And for Chisato, because of the Allen Institute, she was given a new artificial heart. Well, you learn that other individuals also are a part of or were influenced by the Allen Institute. And no one knows, at least in the series, no one knows the goals, the ideas, or anything behind the Allen Institute. You don't know really anything about them at all. You know more about the DA just from the story in general and being able to easily piece it together and know more about them. And Majima, who is the main protagonist in this, he spells out his ultimate goal, the thing that he is truly wanting to deal with and do. He doesn't hide it, though he's not a main pivotal character in the sense that he is there all the time. He has a bunch of screenshots or screen time, but you're given more information about him than you are the Allen Institute, which, if this was honestly a longer series, or if this was based on a manga rather than it being an original, then I can see them kind of touching on that a little bit more. But honestly, there was no source material for this, and it is an original. So I feel like the story of, hey, there's this other individual super secret organization that's going around doing all this other stuff, because they hinted it, they talk about it, they mention it a few different times, but you're never given any information beyond that. Like the information you're given is actually honestly really minimal, which I feel like does a disservice for it, because you have this opportunity to really kind of grow more on this big bad or overarching individual or company or group or organization, rather than what they actually did, which was reference it, talk about it, have be a real pivotal and focal point, but they don't talk about it. They don't uncover more in dealing with it. And you don't know what the ultimate goal, like these guys are the ultimate baddie in my mind, because that is what everyone leads it up to, but it never gets that resolution. And in all honesty, there's a lot in here you don't get a lot of a resolution for, which you do get some answers. Like you get answers for the main characters, kind of. Chisato more so than anyone else. You don't know anything other than what Majima ultimately wants to do, which his whole thing is, hey, I'm kind of like a bat. I can hear everything going on here, and I just ultimately want to bring balance to Japan and expose the false or fake peace that they have, which, going back to what I was talking about in the beginning, here is Japan is rated the safest city in the world 8 years running, or whatever it is, Tokyo is, or whatever. And it's all a lie, because even when there's terrorist attacks or there's points where things are really bad, they cover it up, and they effectively cover it up. In fact, it's largely barely touched on, in the sense that, hey, this is an actual thing and you should understand this, kid. And they have a small short scene where that is basically it. An entire subway gets destroyed because of Majima and what's going on there. And you have two detectives, and an older one says, hey, check this out. This is how you know things are being covered up. And that's it. That's all they approach on it. They don't do anything else in regards to that, which is honestly ridiculous. Now, I know I've had a fair amount of negative viewpoints or negative ideologies on this. I don't have exactly a lot of great viewpoints on it, despite the fact that I said that there was a lot of, or that it was entertaining and it was actually really good. It's not good when you dig into it. It's not great when you look for those nuances or wanting a crazy fleshed out story. No, where this really shines is the action sequences, the comedic moments that they have in there, the points where the art or the character development for the two main characters. That's where this shines. The world building around it really kind of draws you in and you want more. And you crave that extra information. You crave the information that they're like, hey, this is totally a thing. This is totally a thing. And if there was, source material to base it off of, it would be even better. Now, I know that there was a manga that was created after this where they may have a lot of the information kind of spelled out, or maybe they have some points where there's more details about it, but I feel like they crammed enough in here to make you want more, but then at the exact same time, never come out with the second season, which I feel like is a disservice. This does deserve a second season. It deserves more light on what's going on, more information on what's happening here in the show. So I just wish that they had a longer running series, longer running time, rather than just being 13 episodes long. This easily could have been 25 episodes and gone into more details. Now, honestly, I know that there's a lot of criticisms and a lot of things that are out there that honestly would paint this in a much more negative viewpoint or anything like that. But honestly, if you just want anything that is just in general good fun, just I don't want to have to really think too deep or whatever. I don't want a super deep plot or anything like that. This will be your show. This will be a decent show. It is purely here for entertainment. It is purely here for, hey, I want something that's kind of slow but has decent action moments for it, where you're not looking for anything that's realistic. You're not looking for something where you're going to go, well, there's big problems with this. Now, if I know Rick, which I like to think I do, he'll have some issues. He'll have some problems. I already know it. We'll probably talk about his issues and problems with it on a pre-show. But honestly, as long as you just watch this and look at it for what it is, which is just action, pure, unadulterated, good fun, then this is it. This is not going to be your show if you're looking for fan service, because honestly, there's none. This is purely a, hey, everyone's here having fun. Everyone's here to just enjoy themselves. Everyone's action sequences and everyone's moving over here and this is moving over here type thing. But don't think about it too much because it's just really shallow in terms of story. But also, if you're not a fan of massive inconsistencies, if you're not a fan of plot holes galore, then this is probably not going to be the show for you. And for me, I could go either way personally on this. So for me, honestly, on a scale of up to 10, I would give it a 6. It's not a horrible show. It's a good show. I would recommend it to some people, but the lack of information, the points to where I'm not getting enough information on anything that's going on, where I'm not able to have fully fleshed out answers. I feel like the show was greatly disserviced. I feel like the story was disserviced by it being so short. And I just wish it was longer. I wish we had been given more information on it, and that the story and character development was more fleshed out, and there weren't all these plot holes and things weren't inconsistent and everything was just wrapped up nicely and everything else. But unfortunately, I'm not going to get that. So that's why I'm going with the 6. Next week it is going to be a recommendation from the Blue Ranger, and it is called Red Ranger Becomes an Adventurer in Another World. Well, thank you for the recommendation, Blue Ranger. I look forward to checking it out for the next show. Well, that's all the time that I have for today. If you feel like I did too much justice, not enough justice, or anything like that, go ahead and reach out to me and let me know what I clearly got wrong, missed, or anything like that. Happy to hear from you. Of course, all the different ways you can support us are available in the show notes, like going to shop.featuredanimepodcast.com to buy yourself some swanky swag, or using affiliate links for Crunchyroll to get yourself a free trial. And then, of course, if you use coupon code FeaturedAnime along with our affiliate link for Tokyo Treat, you get yourself $5 off that very first box. And trust me, those treats are worth it. Use the link, check it out. Get yourself a discount and enjoy a box of delicious treats while you're at it. And of course, you can always support us by going to patreon.com/featuredanimepodcast. $1 a month to get you access to bonus content that we usually put out there, as well as the pre-show as well. And until next time, I'm Jack, and we'll catch you later.